Hi, Carrie here with some Good News Kids participation strategies. Now, within any given Sunday and at any given moment, you're going to have varying levels of participation from your kiddos. Some will be sleeping, some will be rolling their eyes at you, some will be hanging on your every word. And so how do you kind of bring all of those together? Or how do you encourage participation, especially for those that seem really unengaged? I've got some strategies here for you and some things that you can do to help you kind of hone it in, get that focus from your kids, and really get them to participate, because participating will help them engage with the story more and hopefully get that biblical truth really implanted into their heart. So some strategies that you can use, and there are so many. I'm going to give you some specific ones that I've used and seen that work well. If you come up with your own, awesome. You can always run it by me, use it with your kids. I don't have to know what it is, but here are some for you to kind of have in your tool belt, in your back pocket, if you will. So you can always ask your kids, raise your hand if fill in the blank. You've ever heard of the prophet Jeremiah, whatever the lesson is. Raise your foot, raise your nose, raise your elbow, any of that. It's kind of silly, kind of goofy, but it gets their attention and it gets them listening and focused in on you. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Pretty simple strategy, but it can really be, even do thumbs in the middle. It can really be a good way to get kids to focus in. Give me a thumbs up if you've ever been hurt by a friend. Okay, thumbs up, thumbs down. Give me a, how do you feel when fill in the blank? They might give thumbs up, good, yay, thumbs down in the middle. Motion, try and get some kind of motion from your kids when it comes to getting them to participate. Another one you can do is, again, just motion and body movement. Put your hands on your head after you find the verse in the Bible. Hopefully you got kids sitting there with their hands on their heads. That way, too, you know who's ready to move on and who's not. I saw someone just the other Sunday say, okay, when you are done with your coloring, I want you to put your hands in the air and start wiggling your hands. And all these kids, some were, wiggling their hands. They're done. Others weren't. They're participating. They know what's going on. And it helps you kind of gauge your speed as well of ready to move on. Something else for participation is positive reinforcement. Always harp on the good things that you're seeing. So, for example, we are sitting with the media master and the media master is talking. And a kid's getting a little wiggly, okay? And the kid sitting next to him, though, has their legs crossed and they're looking at the teacher. Point that out. Say, oh, Harrison, I love the way you're sitting with your legs crossed. Make sure the other kid who's not hears you. By pointing out that positive that kid is doing, it can really help motivate the other kid to follow along. Something else when it comes to some of the more difficult tasks, sometimes we have activities that really make a kid think or might be a little bit hard for them to manipulate. We have some kids now, and we might get some families in the future, kids that can't really write very well, or color very well, or fold really well, or manipulate Play-Doh really well. But always point out their effort and that you're proud of them for sticking with it, for trying. Kids can very easily feel like they just don't cut it. They see another kid flying along through the activity and here they are struggling with it. And by encouraging them, letting them know that you see that they're trying, can really help boost their, image of themselves and help them to kind of keep going and participating with it. Now, sometimes kids just aren't having it. They don't want to participate. They might even get to the point where they straight up break down. And if that would ever happen, feel free to let kids just take a break. I'll give you an example from my own family, Harrison. He does not always love to participate in things, and that's okay. If he, 1 second is doing something, the next second isn't, and typically will politely tell you no thanks or no, it's okay. If a kid does get worked up to the point where you could tell they're very frustrated, let them take a break. Say, hey, how about you go get a drink of water? I am going to be implementing and we'll have training videos on some other strategies specific towards that. But if you see that a student in the area of participation is getting overwhelmed or frustrated, allow them to take some time away. You don't have to continue harping on that. You don't have to continue trying to push them. It's okay if they just take a break. Always feel free to walkie me. If you think a student needs to be removed from the situation a little bit, you need a little bit more help, I can come in and take over for the activity while you talk with that student. I can talk with that student, and that's okay as well. So always feel free to walkie me also. But don't forget about these participation strategies and to come up with your own kind of goofy ways to get kids to listen to you and also think about what you might be asking them. Thank you.